Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Combat Conversations, and I'm your boy AG, aka the Combat Connoisseur, and I'm joined as always by my partner in crime, DB. What's going on with it, baby?
What's going on, AG?
Not much, man. So, may as well ask, how was that UFC Columbus? I see you promoting over there with a stipe. You know what I'm saying? You shake a legend's hand.
No, that's not just a legend. That's the greatest of all time.
Oh, he's a GOAT?
That's a GOAT.
Is he a GOAT of a
heavyweight
division?
That's the heavyweight GOAT.
Heavyweight GOAT.
Heavyweight GOAT. It would be like you meeting Ali.
What about Tyson Fury?
I mean he's not the GOAT yet. He will be.
Only way I'm meeting Ali now is at the pearly gates, guys. So I might can meet Fury now if he's the GOAT. So
man,
little better comparison here.
Fucking up my. Anyways,
how was it?
Oh, it was amazing. Like, dude, you had to be there. And I sent you a video. Mm-hmm. And bro, we were like 4 or 5 rows back from the cage.
So many people in the arena. I don't even know if I got the video because the traffic was flooded. And it was so blurry, I thought you was in the nosebleeds, cuz. So I'm glad you cleared that information up for us.
Damn. You gotta do me bad, but like I said, I had an amazing time, and as great of a time as I had, shout out to my girl. She's the one that surprised me with floor seats to UFC Columbus.
Oh, so. Lover boy. All right, we ain't getting into that shit. So what did you take away from being there as far as names and stuff? Because we talked about it before. It wasn't necessarily going in on paper the best card, and actually I joked with you, we seen tweets and stuff about people saying this was the weakest UFC card in a while, or if ever, blah blah blah, for namesake beforehand. But go ahead, break it down for us on a couple fights that just made it jaw-dropping, because I'm not gonna lie, it was a great card. Me watching it from home at the comforts of my own home and not being 4 or 5 rows back like you, shaking hands with Stipe, rubbing elbows with Dana White. I mean, I couldn't tell. Like I said, the video was kind of blurry with all the cell phone traffic, so I couldn't tell if that was Dana White or P. Diddy Hearn. I couldn't tell. So, but essentially, what couple fights on there that really would you take away from it?
So
any names to be made?
So on the main card, there was a fight where you had Matt Brown, that was in his backyard. He's from Columbus, Ohio, and he had fought Brian Barberina, Bam Bam as they call him. And
look like pebbles, huh?
I mean, that's a possible fight of the year contender right there. I do think Matt Brown should have won that. It's one of those fights where, could go either way. But overall, great fight. And like I said, it's going to be a fight of the year contender. And then, actually, the fight before that, Kai Kara France, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Hey, he put on a show as well.
Yeah.
He's nice with it as well. And then the fight before that, Neil Magny. Hey.
Yeah, just what you said. Quality MMA. That's what you're watching. We said it time and time again. You don't need star names going into events to walk away with a great event. You really don't. Like you said, it's not just the tough man contest out there where you just getting guys to sign up for an entertainment show. No, these are up and coming people, men and women, who are actually trying to get on a pay-per-view card and whatnot.
And then to top it off, my man Curtis Blades with the second round TKO.
Curtis Blades is...
he's putting himself in the mix now for that interim title belt. I would say, the title, but with Francis going under knee surgery and, his last fight with Gane, that was his last fight with the UFC. Well, that was the last fight of his current deal. So now, is he going to come back to the UFC, or we don't know. So there's been a lot of talk on who's gonna fight for the interim belt at least. And hey, Curtis Blades, he's putting himself in there.
Their stock is rising again. So I do believe that Curtis Blades he'll be a factor in playing out who comes out on top. And obviously at the moment right now, Francis being on top. What you think is going to happen with, just as far as the contract and stuff. So, Dana White's probably going to have to give in or is Francis just going to accept something?
I think Francis can be a star. I mean, if you watch the guy, he is fun to watch. But Dana's gonna have to pay. He's
gonna have to come up out of pocket.
He's gonna have to reach deep in those pockets,
and
it's really that simple.
And not to mention, we know Francis is great, but the division is so stacked that he can't let him get away. The division is stacked. It's not one man just out there waiting on everybody else to kind of come at him. Okay, we get that, but we know, with Stipe still being as good as Stipe is, Cyril gone, Lewis only losing to two top dogs and how great he could be with a shoey, and then
Tom
Aspinall. This division
is low-key stacked.
It's too deep to just let one man get away from you, and that one man being the champ, being arguably the best one of the division.
Right.
I think Dana White can't let that fall through his hands.
Like, I don't understand Dana's logic, because okay, Izzy, when he got a nice new deal, so I'm gonna put him to the side, but Masvidal, I don't know why he would give him a
lucrative
deal. I don't know why he would really give Nate Diaz, because Nate Diaz, believe it or not, he's actually one of the top draws, in the UFC.
Well, that's essentially why. I mean, you just answered your own question. I mean, regardless, wins and losses, it's back to the money game. If Street Jesus and Nate Diaz are bringing in more viewers when they fucking lose than some of these guys that they put on when they win, then that's your answer. They'll give him the contract because he brings in the money. But we don't want to fucking see him on the card, fighting somebody essentially still losing. I mean, the other people are getting the exposure too. So, I mean, I don't know. It's 6-1 and half dozen in the other. No, well, first off, if they headlining, that's done. Street Jesus needs to be done headlining. He just got his ass handed to him twice in a row.
3 times in a row.
Okay, point well made. If he's on a pay-per-view card or whatnot, that's fine, I guess, depending on who he's fighting at the same time. But regardless, they still are draws. They make for good undercard, I believe. That's the status I believe that they're at. Nate Diaz and Street Jesus. I mean, I think they're quality undercard material. I mean, hate to call somebody that, but that's just exactly what they are to me.
I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Like Edgar fucking Berlanga. That's it. Stop. He's done headlining shit until he's got to come on the undercards. He'd be great undercard material. And if he can get his shit together and back on track and impress on the undercard, then hey, maybe 2, 3, 4 years down the road from now, he could get another headliner. But again, just what I'm saying, you got to hop back on track. Like this, Street Jesus and Nate, we think it's the end of the road for them anyway, so there is no road to recovery. But essentially, if they want to get back to the headline and status like they think they are, we got to see some undercard performances that warrant that. And we ain't seeing that bullshit.
Yep.
We know it's the end of the road for both of them. That's it.
Definitely.
Certified gatekeepers.
I've been telling you that.
Yeah, so. Well, yeah, you have. I just was, reiterating the point, alluding to it, so. But yeah, no doubt. And since the last time we was on Combat Conversations, we had some boxing on. Miguel Berchelt and Nakatila. Now, y'all know how we talked about how Shakur fought Nakatila and it was boring. It was a good recipe to go to sleep that night. We called it NyQuil. We knew and recognized Shakur's talent early. But
at the time, his fight wasn't exciting.
No, it wasn't. And at the time when we asked, I believe somebody asked Shakur, well, why did you carry him to deep waters? Why didn't you in this fight? And his response basically was, Nakatila's a weird fighter, got that odd power, could kind of sneak in that little shot whenever, you never know. And we kind of just took it for face value. And then all of a sudden when Valdez knocks out Berchelt for knockout of the year, we put so much stock into fucking Oscar Valdez for beating Miguel Berchelt because that's how high we thought of Miguel Berchelt. Then all of a sudden, Nakatila fights Berchelt and straight dominates him. Basically alluding to what Shakur was saying. Yeah, about how he's an odd fighter and he's hard to figure out and he believes he's a top level fighter. And he dismantled Berchelt from the opening bell and just basically made it to me, it took away value from Oscar Valdez's win. Not to say it wasn't a good win, but again, we had put too much stock into Berchelt.
And it makes Shakur's win that much better.
It makes Shakur's win better, and it makes Oscar Valdez's win over him not so significant.
That's another L for Oscar Valdez right there.
Oh, because come April 30th,
y'all trying to see a dead body on national television?
I mean, I can't wait for that one. We're going to talk about this upcoming because it is upon us. The spring schedule.
I really hope none of y'all made plans.
It is here. It's going to be ruckus. So we're only going to get into the first couple, but obviously, we've alluded in previous episodes. We didn't named out the whole schedule, and then the fights that are coming is going to be unreal. So also on the 26th with the we just talked about the Berchelt Nakatila. Kiko Martinez was back in action, who got that upset win over Kid Galahad, and that was a great fight. But Kiko Martinez versus Warrington 2. First fight was a great fight. Second fight, all out war. Kiko Martinez is just one of those guys who just don't stop coming. I mean, Kiko's just one of them guys. And
he a gatekeeper?
Oh yeah, no doubt. He's a gatekeeper, and that's the thing. He's lost his fair share of title fights and chances, but when he won the belt, turned around when it was time to defend it, he just turned around and lost to Warrington. And Warrington looked good, but Kiko landing his shots wound up breaking Warrington's jaw, and Warrington broke his hand. That lets you know punches were thrown. When motherfuckers come out with broken jaws and broken hands,
hands were thrown.
Hands were thrown. And hands landed. So shout out to Warrington on that for winning a dogfight. Just absolute dogfight. Those are the exact type of fights we love to see. Yeah, we love our sweet science when the sweet science permits it, because we're going to get into another fighter who I think is great with the sweet science, Then you got your brawlers, guys go up in there, David Benavidez's and, just kind of...
Your Triple G's.
Then, I fit Triple G as in like a... an auxiliary type. He's not a brawler. He ain't no David Benavidez style. He's not Better BF style. But, Triple G has his own little in-between style. But he's not like a Floyd. So, there's so many different styles in the game that you could bring. Especially when it comes to any sport. It's when it MMA, boxing, kickboxing, all these karate.
Styles make the fights.
Styles make the fights. So... with that being a brawl, I think there's somebody else, and we talked about Regis in the last one. Now, I firmly believe Regis is top dog at 140. But if I gotta go who I think would be number 2, we mentioned Jack Catterall. We mentioned Jose Zepeda, Jose Ramirez. 140's a little deep, okay? 140's, and with a couple 135s moving up, 140 might be the next best weight division. But Sandor Martin was back in action, who gave Mikey Garcia his L. And Sandor Martin...
he's like that, bro.
He's like that for sure. But I like his style, though. He's a sweet science kind of guy. Box, back foot, jab. Him fighting Jose Felix, who's believe he's 30-5, something like that. A true journeyman. Basically like a gatekeeper, And he just... Jose Felix was having more success than Mikey Garcia was. Mikey Garcia essentially thought he won a fight that he wasn't even close in. One judge gave it to him, which I don't know how. That's the analytics of politicians of boxing. But essentially, Jose Felix was giving Mikey Garcia a much tougher time. Jose Felix was giving Sandor Martin a much tougher time than Mikey was. But yet, every time you felt Felix was getting a groove going, like you saw some things, then Sandor Martin just kind of kicked it into gear and landed 2, 3, 4 combinational punches and looked good. Sandor Martin, to me, outside of Regis being number 1 at 140, I'm going Sandor Martin at number 2. I'm based off of his last 2 performances and the stock we've put into Mikey for Errol Spence winning and all that. We know what Mikey Garcia was. So Sandor Martin deserves, to me, to be number 2 in the 140-pound division.
I agree. Because I think that was one thing we talked about it, right after his fight with Mikey Garcia. He pieced him up in that fight, and then we talked about, can he keep it going? Can he keep it up? Was it one of those one-time moments where he had his 15 minutes of fame and then shit the bed, throughout? But he followed it up. He followed it up. He looked good.
Yeah, quality opponent too. Not
quality opponent.
Not a trash can.
So,
Jose Felix ain't no trash can. But again, C+ level fighter. You don't get 30-5 for nothing. But that just shows that, hey, maybe when you did face, when it was time for them thinking that you was gonna step up, it just that one didn't work out for you. And exactly that's it. You fought. Now you fighting a superior fighter in Sandor Martin, who seems to have it and hasn't lost in a long time. He's got 2 L's on his record, but no bad losses. That's it. Guys, that's it. Guys take L's. That's it. But this Floyd generation, it's all about protecting that O. That's what it's all about.
No, but I agree with you. I do think Sandor is arguably at 2. I'm not going to be mad if someone wants to go with Catterall, but he did look good, cuz. Yeah,
and to me, Catterall looked good just like Sandor looked good against Mikey.
Right.
Let's see Catterall again. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. By Sandor following it up, I'm ready to go ahead and say I put him at number 2.
So if Catterall follows it up, with an amazing performance, is he number 2?
Could be. It depends on, when Jack Catterall comes back and fights again, depending on who he fights, I may very well be like, hey, I think Jack would take care of Sandor. I really do. Maybe. Don't know. We'll see. So, before we get into the main event for Saturday, let's go ahead and get into a little under the mat card that nobody talks about and stuff like that. These are the type of fights that for some reason don't get the super mad promotion and stuff like that, but yet they still happen. So last night we had the women's bantamweight championship WBC belt on the line, and Luna Yatila, forget how you pronounce her first name, Yatila Luna fighting Flores, who's an undefeated opponent. And I tell you what, I know we beat it like a dead horse, but women's combat sports always brings that action more often than it doesn't. Am I wrong or am I wrong?
No, I agree with you.
Exactly. So that fight was just a nail biter from beginning to end, because Luna's a big woman. She's got reach on her. She just clearly outboxed Flores, who's a short, stockier version and has to get on the inside. And trust me, she had that dog in her. She was trying her best to get on the inside and was having some major success. But Luna just, the effectiveness of the jab kept her away just enough, long enough for periods of time to really so Luna won a unanimous decision, but it was not an easy fight. And you could see why Flores indeed was undefeated. Because it was just tooth and bone all the way. First round, Flores came out. She knew she had to get inside. She wasn't going to sit there on the outside and get pieced up. But just Luna was good enough to continue to box on her back foot at times and kept hitting her with that swinging left hand.
Like that jab, it was just enough to keep her away.
Just enough to keep her away, long enough before Flores would come in and have some success, and then Luna was good with the counter punches too. So again, WBC Bantamweight Championship is a fight that we combat enthusiasts just can't miss. So that was a great fight. The card was good. Once we got to the main event, it was fireworks. Then Probellum has a card on last night too on ESPN in Mexico on their website. Probellum with ESPN Knockout putting on good cards, which, by the way, we won't get too deep into it, but had a crazy stoppage for no reason and then gave him the draw. Oh man, it was terrible. Dwayne Beeman won that fight. Shout out to Dwayne Beeman. I see you, cuz. You won that fight. American went out there in Mexico to fight. He won that fight and they robbed him, cuz. Just a robbery. So I know how he
was it worse than the Oscar Valdez robbery?
No, I mean not really. It wasn't that bad, but it's just like it still happened.
Was it like Jack Catterall?
Crowd was booing too. Yeah, kind of like a Jack Catterall. You know, just it is what it is. But ultimately, the main event on that day, on that Saturday, was Savannah Marshall.
Mm-hmm. Nasty knockout versus Hermes. And just my opinion, Savannah Marshall wasn't outright impressing until the knockout. Did we know it was going to come? Maybe. But I really feel that Hermes was having success, which really ultimately makes me believe I may as well get straight to the point. I still got Clarissa Shields winning when they match up. So big time fight from Savannah, but you still got the quote.
Clarissa said, she could have went in and did that in the first round. Still she ain't fucking with me. And everybody's prisoner of the moment right now. So, you know, right now everybody's talking about how Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields will be the biggest fight in women's boxing history, but yet at the same time, we got Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor coming up. When that fight was getting made with Jake Paul and MVP Promotions and P. Diddy Eddie Hearn, we saying that's the biggest fight in women's boxing. And I want to see Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano more than I want to see Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields. But that doesn't diminish how bad I want to see Savannah Marshall fight Clarissa Shields. And I think Clarissa Shields is going to put that sweet science on her because of basically what I saw from the first couple rounds of Savannah Marshall. Started off slow against an opponent that I don't think she really should have started off slow against. And
shit like that happens all the time though when fighting.
It does, you know, and the styles make fights, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, I really feel like
I think it'll be a lot closer fight than what you think it is. I think she just had an off night. She still took care of business. But I think when the time comes and she fights Clarissa, I think it's going to be a dog fight. I think it's going to be a war.
We'll see. I think Clarissa Shields got that sweet science to not make it a dog fight. Like, you know, that's just me. You know, we'll see when that time comes because essentially that fight has got to happen. It's got to happen. That's it. That is the next fight. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it.
Yeah, I thought Josh Taylor had the sweet science too, but you know, look how that fucking played out.
I never, you might have thought that. I never thought Josh Taylor had the sweet science. I thought he was a go in there, banging kind of guy. He gets hit a lot. It's not like he was defensive. You know, we just thought he was an accurate puncher because he could get in on the inside and essentially cause havoc for his opponent. But I mean, hey, I never put Josh Taylor in that sweet science category. No. I just didn't do that. But anyway, I want to see Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields just as much. So, but before we get to that, we do have a full plate women's boxing headline in Madison Square Garden for the first time in Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. So can't wait for that one. Now,
shout out to Jake Paul.
Shout out to Jake Paul and MVP Promotions and Logan Paul on his Wrestle fucking Mania victory. Ain't that some shit? Logan Paul out here doing his thing.
Making moves.
So, a side note, I don't know if you saw it, but
I didn't.
The whole Pokemon deal where he supposedly bought a fake Pokemon card?
No.
You don't know nothing about that? Apparently, whatever. He overpaid for a fake Pokemon card. Somebody got him or whatever. And he come out today. He come out last night at WrestleMania rocking like a Mr. T type gold chain with like a, from what I heard, I don't know how true it is, but it's like a $6 million Pokemon card, and it's supposed to be authentic, I guess, and it's inside the case. It was legit, like a dope ass gold chain, but you know, and he got the victory. So hey, WWE's gonna be using Logan Paul. So hey, you can thank Floyd for that.
I don't even know what to say to that, but I mean, you know, shout out to Logan, you know, getting the bag, making moves. You know, him and his brother Jake, they're doing big things. You know, they're bringing eyes to, you know, Jake's bringing more eyes, more viewers to boxing, and you know, I guess Logan's gonna be helping with the WWE with that.
Yeah, they both of them are bringing eyes to whatever it is they do. You know, I guess they started off on the social media platform, but hey, social media is where it's at these days. I mean, that's how you give away the promotion. That's where a lot of people are engaged. Hey, it is what it is. So,
and then Jake come out and say he's gonna be coming back in August.
He'll be back. We can't wait for that. We'll see who that's against. So, apparently, Tommy Fury's not gonna be on Tyson Fury undercard. I mean, hey, that's a bummer. So, which they still haven't announced no undercard, but kind of want to get into this epic spring schedule we got coming up. It is upon us. It is here. That's it. Next weekend starts the run. This is essentially in the future. Hindsight, to me, to us at Combat Conversations, will be known as the run. And let's start it off. April 9th, Triple G and Murata. Triple G back in action. We gotta see what's going on with this one. Is Triple G gonna show his age? Because I think Triple G's performance against Murata dictates whether or not Canelo fights him after Bivol. Obviously, Canelo has to handle business, but let's say he does, and Triple G misperforms, whatever, looks like shit, loses, whatever. That's it. There's no Triple G second fight.
You mean third fight?
Excuse me, third fight. You're right. So I'm over here thinking Triple G's got to put on a good performance.
This is basically a career-defining fight for Triple G.
Progressively, yeah. I mean, essentially, if he loses to Murata or gets dealt with, I think we talked about this on the last episode. They remember your last couple fights the most, and if you losing them, even we know how great you were in your prime. You know, Amir Khan is a prime example of this. Kell Brook too. He redeemed himself a bit, but we know how great Amir Khan was in his prime. But
that loss to Brook, it's gonna overshadow.
His last couple losses are gonna overshadow it. It is what it is.
That's how the fight game works.
Essentially, so Triple G's legacy's not on the line, but essentially it kind of minimally is. If he doesn't perform well against Murata, then he may not get the next Canelo fight, and a lot of things could be shifting here. The pound for pound, we're going to have to our pound for pound needs to be updated. We haven't done it. It needs to be updated. We need to run through the full list again, and I want to see Triple G against Murata that way, because y'all know I had Triple G high on mine. He might get bounced. Who knows? So that's going to start off on April 9th. They fighting way overseas, I think in Japan, so essentially, I'm gonna have to figure. We're gonna have to figure out the time so we don't get bit by the bug again. Fight might go off at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll be up for it though. Triple G's that dude. He's worth getting up for it.
He's worth getting up for it.
Oh yeah, I would. You know.
And then also, you don't have just Triple G, you know, on April 9th, but you also got UFC going on.
UFC's gonna be bang. Who's that? Volkanovski.
A
top pound for pound fighter. Can't miss.
Yeah, can't miss.
What the run? This is the run. So
I mean, this is gonna be probably one of the best months in combat sports history.
Yeah. So, lastly, let's before we get too far, Triple G and Murata. I'm picking Triple G in a within 8 rounds stoppage. I think he'll get the stoppage on Murata.
I was gonna say he's gonna get the stoppage in 9.
In 9, okay. So I'm going under 8. So about the same. Okay, that's my prediction. I think Triple G still. Still been in training, still good. Murata hasn't fought in a long time. I really think Triple G still got some gas in the tank. I think he'll handle business. So,
and plus, it's been a while since his last fight, so it's not like he's been taking any damage.
It goes both ways.
He's fresh.
Absolutely fresh. Hasn't been taking a beating. Still well enough time to recover. On the same flip side of that coin, is he rusty? That's it. Is his age gonna show? It's exactly what it is. It's a double-edged sword, two-headed coin, all that bullshit. So Triple G with a banger. Let's go ahead and jump into UFC. You brought it up. Volkanovski, top pound for pound guy. Volkanovski's one of my guys. So I can't see Volkanovski getting off just yet.
Oh, no. I think he's going to handle Korean Zombie pretty well.
Right.
I think it's going to be I think he's going to have a dominant, unanimous decision win.
The Korean Zombie's going to have a fan base behind him because it's just cool. It's the Korean Zombie. You don't have a cool nickname like that and not have a deep fan base.
No, I'm not saying he
might have to fight a hostile crowd.
But, regardless, I don't think he's not really a threat in my opinion. I think Volkanovski is going to handle him pretty well. And I think
show why he's a top pound for pound guy.
Or at least top 5. He ain't better than Kamaru Usman, but
no, but I believe
he's in the top 5.
I think we tried that. I think he already is top 5, but now based off of his performance, how he wins, again, would you be considering him to put him like at number 3, essentially only behind maybe Usman and maybe Izzy? Pound for pound, but his performance will have to dictate that. He goes in and struggles and wins. You could still win and not, essentially, to me, get any rewards points for pound.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. But honestly, like, the fight I'm looking forward to is actually the co-main event.
Okay.
When you got Petorian and Aljo Sterling, paper champ. That's like you getting ready to watch Valdez and Shakur. Like,
Valdez is a sweet tea paper
I think Jan, I think he's gonna handle Sterling. I think he's gonna show who's really the baddest man at 135. And then your boy Kazmat, he's fighting Saturday as well against Gilbert Burns.
So this is gonna be a stacked card this Saturday.
Yeah.
And we ain't even finished with the Saturday yet.
No.
We ain't even finished with it. So that's gonna be on. Let's back onto the boxing. You got Lubin versus Fundora, which is gonna be a banger. Okay? Lubin, I believe, former champ. Fundora up and coming. Just again, another PBC showdown that's got a great main event. And they'll have a couple good ones on the undercard. But again, back to championship boxing, quality boxing that's on. Lubin and Fundora is gonna be a can't miss fight. It'll be trending. You could believe that. It ain't one of them under the mat type of fights. It's out. That's gonna be a banger. And then, well, before we get into and then, I'm gonna go ahead and I like Fundora because I think his length, his reach. He is a tall, slender guy, and it's like when he puts on weight, he's gonna be dangerous to me. I like Fundora a lot because he's got a very long reach. The only thing you could be concerned about with him is taking body shots because of how slender he is. But really, to me, his skill set, the way he utilizes his jab, he could box, comes with that right hook. Yeah, Fundora's nice to me, and Lubin just. He's one of those guys that shows he's a B-level fighter. Really is. He's not A-level because he's essentially had some losses, but...
He a gatekeeper?
Yeah, he's a gatekeeper. And this is a real test for Fundora. So that's going to be a great fight.
Okay.
So that's why I'm going Fundora. And I figure he's just going to outbox him. I think he'll win by like a unanimous decision, maybe close split decision. But essentially, I got Fundora eking out in that one. And... the main event for Saturday is your favorite fighter is back. Ryan Garcia, baby. My man. Okay, now, Ryan with the new trainer, my main man, Joe Goosen. Hey, are we going to see a reinvigorated Ryan Garcia? Is there nothing?
That's a huge problem if you're 23 years old and we're already asking, are we going to see a new Ryan Garcia?
Reinvigorated?
Reinvigorated. It don't matter how you want to, the comeback.
Reinvent it.
Reinvigorate. It doesn't matter how you splice it. You know, if we're asking these questions and you're 23, that's pretty fucking bad.
Well, that's because he supposedly wasn't being treated fairly. But no, I think according to him, Eddie Reynoso and Canelo and them just couldn't get the best out of him. Joe Goosen brings the best out of him. And I'm paraphrasing based off of that. But yeah, essentially that's what Ryan Garcia was saying. Is that Joe Goosen brings that in because he's an animal in there.
Joe Goosen, he's just, you know, he's just gonna let Ryan do whatever Ryan wants. He basically a yes man.
Okay, is that what you're thinking?
And you know, Canelo's camp don't play like that.
No,
you know,
say what
you want about Canelo's camp, but look what they're doing. They're doing big things, and they do it their way. You know, they come in, they work, they put in the work. I don't even think Ryan's fully committed to boxing. I don't.
Okay.
You know, and I think this new trainer, I think he's going to be a yes man. He's only going to tell Ryan what he wants to hear.
Now, Joe Goosen is a proven championship trainer now, so it's not like he just went to a yes man, so to speak. But not to say Joe Goosen isn't going to be, you know, obviously more, reluctant to say something. Not that he ain't going to speak his mind, but I get exactly your point. It's kind of, he's going to give Ryan the freedom to be Ryan, where Eddie Reynoso and Team Canelo strict, you know what I mean? Kind of like a military style. I'm just assuming out here. Not that that's the issue, but I get your point. It's kind of, Joe Goosen could be just kind of letting Ryan Garcia stretch out a little bit. And what if you see a better Ryan Garcia?
What if you don't see a better Ryan Garcia?
Are we going to blame Joe? Or are we going to blame Ryan?
Blame Ryan.
He is fighting. This is going to be, I see a lot of people thinking he's going to take this guy out in under 3.
He's not.
No. I think a little bit back to what we said. You know, he's young anyway. He's been away for a while. He had to let his hand heal. He had surgery and all that. Is he going to be fresh? Is he going to be reinvigorated? Or is he going to be a little rusty and essentially have to shake off some rust and not really perform at his best?
He's going to have ring rust, not perform at his best.
Okay.
You know, I do think he'll win, but I think he's going to have to kind of work for it early on. And then, you know, in the later rounds, he'll start to pull away. You know, I still think he'll take care of business, but he's going to have ring rust. You know, he's going to have to shake off, you know, some rust and get back into fighting shape. But I don't know. We gotta wait and see what he does.
Yeah. So with that's basically the entire Saturday, and then I'm going Ryan with the late. I don't even know. I want to say late stoppage. You know, back to the same kind of thing as Triple G. You know, definitely in the latter half of the fight, but I think Ryan will stop him. I don't think it's gonna go to full 12. So,
it's gonna be by decision.
Now that Ryan coming back, we know what we got coming up. April 16th is gonna be big too, but you know, we'll be back in time. That way we can speak about that. But big fight just announced, got confirmed. George Kambosos versus Devin Haney.
I know you love you some Devin Haney.
I'm Devin Haney starting to rub off on me in a good way. You know, I'm starting to like Kambosos, and then not only was he rubbing off on me the right way, but Kambosos was starting to get on my nerves. With this, you know, Devin Haney wasn't signing it, and all of a sudden Devin Haney does what he needs to do, but not Kambosos is like, I gotta look at it and all that nonsense. And Nah, man, now you was backing up. But he essentially did what he had to do. So, shout out Kambosos. They basically essentially did exactly what he said he was going to do. Either take Loma or take Haney. He did it.
Do you feel like he really didn't want to fight Haney?
No. Meaning like, no, I don't think he did not want to fight Haney. Yeah, that's it. That's it. He's in his he won the belts. He off the drib. He gets a voluntary. That's it. He basically, he's right. He could have fought anybody he wanted, but he only wanted two names. He wanted Lomachenko or he wanted Haney. And one could argue, like, why would you go for one first or whatever? And hey, was he going for Loma to duck Haney? It's that'd be stupid to say.
Right.
Not to say Kambosos and his team doesn't think Haney is the more dangerous fighter. Very well could. But to say somebody would be ducking you
to fight someone like Loma.
Just to fight somebody who's probably not consensus, but, definitely a higher percentage, is probably being voted as the best in the division.
Right.
So essentially he went for Loma. Couldn't get Loma. I'm going for the next guy with the belt, which the reason why we all believed he should have went for Haney first is because of the whole WBC bullshit. And now we truly are getting the undisputed lightweight. We can clear all this nonsense up. They're actually shout out to Devin Haney and Kambosos for doing the WBC a favor. Because I believe that's it. Now that whoever wins this fight, unless it's a motherfucking draw, whoever wins this fight will have both of the franchise belt and the regular belt. And
they'll officially be undisputed.
Hopefully that'll fuse and that's it. No more. That's it. They did away with one of them. That's it. No, like, what the fuck, man? They did this shit for Canelo and then they did it for Loma. But this franchise belt wasn't supposed to be able to change hands. When it was first bestowed upon us with Canelo, they said that if he ever loses, the winner does not become the franchise champion. They said this.
Then they still do it.
Here's luckily for them, Canelo didn't lose. But then Lomachenko, not for whatever apparent reason, I report saying he requested it to duck Devin Haney. Some say that WBC just bestowed it upon him because Lomachenko was that good. But they gave Lomachenko the franchise belt. But then he essentially lost, which in all actuality should have just made that would keep Loma as a franchise champion. And if you read what it meant to be the franchise champion, that basically meant that it had something to do with him always being able to get a WBC title shot if a guy, if they couldn't figure out the mandatory or something. It's the print is so fucking fine that it's hard to read, and even the WBC don't even know what they wrote.
And that's with any division, correct?
So, yeah, it is. That's the point of it. It's with any division, yeah, moving up and stuff like that. So, but that's what happened when Loma lost. Then it essentially, for whatever reason, they made Teofimo the franchise champion and considered him undisputed. And now that's it. We got thrown into this bullshit mix because of the WBC. And now shout out to Kambosos and Devin Haney for cleaning up the WBC's mess for them. But I can't wait for that one. That one's going to be June 5th when it happens. June 4th in America, Saturday night, which that's going to be cool. They putting it on in Australia.
And it's on ESPN, right?
It'll be on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, I'm pretty sure. I don't even know. I hope it's an ESPN Plus exclusive, but I'm pretty sure. I'm almost for certain it's going to be a pay-per-view. But
it will be.
They putting it on at daytime Australia. That way it'll be primetime Saturday night for us here in America. So that's going to be nice. So January 4th, Saturday night in America is going down. Lightweight Undisputed Championship, Kambosos versus Haney. So that lightweight's going to be popping. Tank's coming up in May. Hey, I hope he dismantles Riley and tells us something, that we already knew, that Riley was trash.
And then I hope he leaves Floyd.
Yeah, he's gonna leave Floyd. I don't know. Him and Floyd might make amends. You know what I'm saying? They might come together, talk it up, and he'd be like, "Hey, man, you know what I'm saying?" The next thing you know, he's back with him. Pull a Tom Brady. I'm out. Peace. Then all of a sudden come back. So
and fighting more Trash cans.
Well, I mean, hey, it's essentially that's why Tank wants to be let free. They making him fight all these trash cans, and he's mad he's fighting Raleigh, who we know's a trash can. I mean, it's terrible. Raleigh has, to me, no fundamentals, no technique. He's just a wild swinger who catches lucky shots and it has good power. But that doesn't mean his sweet science is not there. I don't believe Raleigh has the boxing skills to beat Tank. And the way Tank fought against Pitbull Cruz, which I don't think that was as close a fight as people make it. I think Tank won, decisively.
No, but like I said, the way that fans and some experts put it, they made it seem like he could box, almost like when Wilder was boxing Sterveen. They try to talk it up like, hey, Wilder can box. Well, they try to talk it up when Tank was fighting Pitbull Cruz, like, hey, this dude can act. No, he can't. He can't box. He went against a come forward type of fighter in Cruz, who's flat-footed, no defense. He just straight downhill. I'm gonna come at you, and to casuals, it looks like he can box. But to me, I don't think that fight did Tank any justice. I don't think it did anything for him.
No, but essentially to me, it's Tank's known. That's why he's the Tank. He's known for that knockout power. But essentially, knowing how tough Cruz is, he might not have got the knockout. I believe that he did show a little boxing prowess, boxed off the back foot, showed skill, technique. Tank can box. But essentially, I think he's overrated based off his fans. But at the same time, I really think he just dismantles Raleigh. I don't think Raleigh gives him much of a shot. Hey, I could be wrong. That's why we love the sport. Every guy has a boxer puncher's chance. But just giving my take on that, I think Tank's going to roll over Raleigh. So we'll definitely get more into that once that comes. But
oh, no, I agree.
Just pointing out that, Kambosos getting started.
He's going to roll over.
Yeah, this lightweight division is kind of starting to get settled out. Now, if Ryan Garcia can win decisively, and then Tank, them fights being maybe a month and a half apart, no reason why you can't set up something 4, 5, 6 months from now with them two. And now you got a Ryan Garcia Tank fight? Man, sign me up for that one.
I'll watch it.
Sign me up for Ryan Garcia.
Who would you go for in that fight?
Woo, I got to see them both perform. I mean, if I had to go for today, though, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Ryan Garcia's been punched on the chin and been knocked down. If Tank could land that shot, would he be getting up? I would go. I'd go Tank.
I'm going Tank.
I would go Tank. I would pick Tank in a fight with Ryan Garcia today. Now, after April 9th, and we see Ryan Garcia fight against somebody who, again, he needs to take out the trash. If he doesn't take this guy out decisively, the other guy's stock is going to rise while Ryan Garcia's stock goes straight down. So Tank has got to perform against Raleigh. I'm putting no stock into Raleigh. If Tank struggles against Raleigh, he's losing a lot of respect with me.
Hey, if he struggles against you might as well just re-up with Floyd. Because, fighting those elite fighters, no, Tank, he ain't gonna do nothing.
And if I'm gonna go at Tank's actions and his tweets on social media and shit over the past couple, he's not reeing up with Floyd. So, I mean, he's almost making it clear that he wants to fight the best fighters, and Floyd and them are not. Floyd and them are treating these guys like he treated himself. He doesn't want these guys to lose their O.
Nah, Floyd, he still wants to be in the limelight. Like P. Diddy, it's got to be about him. He's always got to be in front of the camera. Always got to be in the front. Still has to be about Floyd.
And he's got another fighter on his stable who I firmly believe has got the goods. And I've said it on previous episodes. And he's too made it clear that Floyd and them just don't treat his career right. And that's Richardson Hitchens. I believe Richardson Hitchens definitely has the skill and the sweet science. Go back and watch his last couple fights I just picked up on. My man's can box. And he's at 140.
The potential's there.
The potential is through the roof to me. But yet, for some reason, he's not being marketed right, not being put in the best fights. I get it when a guy doesn't have no name. It's hard. He's avoided. I get it. But yet, then, at the flip of the coin, too, on the flip side of that coin, we also can't see like what we seeing Uncle Leo and them do with Tank and put him on these pay-per-view cards. He's a fucking pay-per-view star. And yet, what has he really done? Like, it's funny how the game hustles backwards. Tank's a pay-per-view star and has a regular belt, will fight fucking Barrios and Leo Santa Cruz. But yet we got an undisputed fight in Charlo and Castaño for the second time coming on regular Showtime.
That's backwards.
It's that, to me, that's hustling backwards. You have an undisputed fight with great undercard that on regular Showtime. That's some of these pay-per-view fights, it's like the Thurman and Barrios. It's Ortiz and Martin. That's hustling backwards. That's the shit you need to put on your PBC fight nights. But hey, that's what Floyd and Uncle Leo and them do. And then now they bestowing that on Tank and Richardson Hitchens, and not all the stars want to leave their stable. So that lightweight division is just getting ramped up. And then the week after that, we'll get into Errol Spence and Conor Benn in that 147. Man, this spring schedule.
So let me ask you this real quick. So
Wow.
is Bud actually signing with PBC?
I don't know. That's all rumors right now. But if he does sign with PBC, then there would be absolutely no excuse why these fights don't happen. But they may not put it in the... Let's stop beating around the bush. We want to see Bud versus Errol Spence. That's the key. So once Errol Spence, who we'll get into it, I believe is going to beat Ugis, but we don't want to see Bud fight Thurman or Danny Garcia before he fights Errol Spence. We just don't really need to see it. But if he signs with PBC, it's supposed to be a 2-fight deal, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
Right.
It's exactly what's going to happen. Now, the only thing that gets, to me, would get shitty about the boxing and the offsetting and stuff is just that. Errol Spence fights next week, okay? Say Bud does accept this offer, hypothetically, and they put him in with a Thurman or Danny Garcia. When's he going to get in? It's April, about to be April 16th. When's he going to get in? So...
probably wouldn't be till around the fall.
That's what I'm saying. And then what's Errol Spence going to do? Is he going to take one more warm-up? He's not going to be fighting again come September, October. So, to me, that they need to stop that, and they just need to go ahead, let Errol Spence take care of Ugis, then pick up this train, and that's it. Because Bud's ready to fight. He don't need a tune-up fight. His last fight with Sean Porter in November, that was good. We've seen enough. We've seen enough. We don't need...
We saw enough.
Yeah.
We know he's ready for Spence. Like, they need to go ahead and make the fight. I don't know why it's so hard. You know, Andre Ward said it best. You know, usually, you know, one fighter doesn't want it, or no one, like, it's not that hard to make the fight.
No, it's really not. So, but now that Bud is on the same side of the street, obviously he's not on there yet, but essentially he's in the middle of the road because he's a free agent. He ain't on the other side of the street no more. So all this should get ironed out, but
it won't.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't even want to talk negativity because the hype is there. We gave all our predictions for this upcoming weekend. April 9th kicks off the run. We calling it the run. This is going to be subsequent weekend after weekend after weekend after weekend after weekend of championship combat sports, boxing and MMA.
Quality fights.
Bellator, AJ McKee, Pitbull back in action the day before Errol Spence and Ugis. We can't wait for that. Then that Bellator is going to have a card on Friday and a Saturday. It's Oh my goodness. Combat sports is heating up. Feel the energy, the electricity in the studio.
Fight after
card
fight.
after card, fight after fight, weekend after weekend. So again, this is the last episode before the run kicks off. Now, we gave all our April 9th predictions, even slid in a few other predictions. But essentially, each episode gets week by week. We're going to be giving in-depth analysis why we think somebody is the way they is. We got to come up with this pound for pound list. It's got to be re-edited since we done had some mix-ups, shake-ups in the game. Best believe it. So, Combat Conversations, once again, we on all the platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. Look us up on Facebook, YouTube, Combat Conversations, baby.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Appreciate all the feedback we've been getting. So, once again, I've been your boy AG, aka the Combat Connoisseur, joined with always DB. Holla at him one last time, baby.
Hey, AG, I just want to say I appreciate it. Appreciate the love, and I love doing this podcast with you, brother.
Already. Appreciate y'all for listening the most, man. We had so much fun. Peace.